All right, it's live.
All right. Yo, everybody, welcome to the Four Collectors channel. Four Collectors. We're a little late. It's only a half hour, but we are going to talk about our franchise players on our teams. All right. So I have the Dodgers, and you choose the Evil Empire, right?
It's not evil. It's God's favorite son. That's basically what it is. The Yankees, our favorite franchises. And basically, I was thinking about the history of our teams and how I've never seen Caesar show like a video where he just celebrates his team with all the history, the rich history that the Dodgers have. So, in speaking with Caesar, he was like, I have a whole Dodgers box full of cards with just the Dodgers, and I've never made a video, right, Caesar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
that's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna show off cards from our teams, right?
yeah. So, for anybody just joining us, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Basically, I'm gonna talk about my Dodgers, and he's gonna talk about his Yankees and some of the franchise players, popular players. And how are we gonna do it? By position? Which way we going?
Let's do it by positions because I think the Yankees kind of have a little bit richer history as far as like the 20s and 30s, where the Dodgers not so much. So if we
Uh,
just do positions, we don't kind of like pigeonhole ourselves with
the
yeah.
the the Yankees had like just baseball history going on, stats and championships and stuff in that era. But the Dodgers were a badass team, playing in Ebbets Field, and the crowd, the way the environment at a baseball game, it was so much different at Ebbets Field than other fields and stuff. But yeah, we just didn't win
Right. And
in
then
those years.
and then you have the luck and luxury of working for the Dodgers, so you have a big connection to them, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I've always been a Dodger fan, and even when I remember when I interviewed for that job, like I had an interview. Nobody has to interview anymore, but I had an interview, and the boss asked me, "Are you a Dodger fan?" And I'm all like, "Yeah," thinking like, "How's that the wrong answer? I'm playing at Dodger Stadium." He's like, "Well, that's what I don't want." Because the last guy was like, bothering the players, like, you gotta act professional. I want someone that can act professional and isn't gonna be starstruck. But previous to that, I was working at a golf course, and I said, well, I've seen De La Hoya, Fernando Valenzuela, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like they would play at the golf course I used to work at a country club. I said, I don't run up to them, and I don't bother them. I'm just, admire them from afar. And so, yeah, but just brought that up because, yeah, being a Dodger fan almost hurt me in that situation.
Wow. How long you been going to see the Dodgers play since you was a little kid?
Oh yeah, easily. When I was a kid, my dad's boss at the time, he had season tickets, so to games that he wouldn't go, he would give them to us. So we always went midweek, but we went to both Angels and Dodger games. But easily everybody was a Dodger fan, especially because my neighborhood, everybody was a Dodger fan. But we used to get Angels tickets, so I I appreciated the Angels.
Okay. I've been a Yankees fan since a little kid. Since the age of 5, I can remember rooting for the team. My whole family was a Yankees fan, so my whole family was just all gung ho. We would go like maybe 3 to 4 times a year to the game, so I had no choice but to fall in love with that team. So to get on with this, I guess showcasing. We're gonna elect the position. Caesar, I'm gonna give you the honors to elect the first position. We're gonna show off some cards from our teams from.
Okay, so let's just start off. You want to do the outfield or the catcher?
Outfield is stacked. Let's do a little
All
appetizer
right.
with catchers.
I, I actually don't have many outfielders.
Okay.
I think I
But
got like one or two.
Good. Do the
All right.
first
So
franchise player that from the Dodgers.
my what?
The first franchise player you're gonna throw out.
Well, with me, like with somebody that brought the team into, like you said, the Dodgers were really nothing in the 20s and 30s. They were them bums and this and that. And so, in the 50s is when they were big. And a guy on the outfield, who was actually, when they were playing at Ebbets Field is in a place called Flatbush. It's in Flatbush. And this guy is the Duke of Flatbush. He was Duke Snyder. You can see uh, his vintage cards here. He got the 54, the 59 with the mustache. But Gil Hodges, I do believe, unless somebody broke that record, he has the most. He had the most home runs in the 50s. Out of everybody, and you're talking about the era with Mickey Mantle, and Willie Mays, But man, it's always hard to hold this. But the Duke of Flatbush, Gil Hodges, there's a lot of, like I was saying before, the Yankees at that time, they were all well paid. They were, visiting with famous people, mingling like, and the Dodgers were like the poor team on the poor side of town. And so a lot of the players actually live like in the neighborhood, and you'll hear about like, I mean, did I say Duke Snyder, like is him, like Gil Hodges, a bunch of other people that lived around the area.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
so this is really my only uh, vintage outfielder that I was gonna show.
Oh, okay. So I have a few from the Yankees, and I don't want to like go crazy. So that's the only one you're gonna show from the Dodgers, outfielder wise.
From vintage, yeah, I can show a couple of more modern guys.
Okay, I'll just show a quick one. So I guess because you always consider Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. I'm gonna just showcase a few. This is my Dave Blue Jacket 66 card that's autographed. And then I got a 61 here I pulled out of the collection and a 53 card. So I don't want to go too crazy with Mickey Mantle. I do have a bunch of his stuff,
I don't
but
know anything about that guy.
when you think of Mickey Mantle, I mean the Duke Snyder, Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, they were the triumvirate, and they have the history and lore and the golden age of center field and baseball. So it's fun to tie those three players together. I guess showcasing somebody else that. Oh, here's another Mickey Mantle, which I just found. 58. I only have one card of Joe D, and that's prior to Mickey Mantle, and that's a 51 Burke Ross. It's a hard
Nice.
one to get a Joe DiMaggio card, namely because there's not so many of them. And I went on the low end with this one, and I'm so happy that I went with this card because, yeah, there's not that many, and they just started skyrocketing after the pandemic. So this was like a cheap pickup for like $200, and now it's a lot more than that. Okay, throw in
Nice.
another one. Your turn, Caesar.
For the outfield,
Yeah,
okay. So I do have a Manny Mota.
Manny.
So Manny Mota, one of his big accomplishments was being a pinch hitter. You know what I mean? He led the league in the major leagues in pinch hits, career and stuff. I mean, I'm sure that's been passed up by now easily. But yeah, he was a town favorite. And it says outfielder, but he was really on the bench, coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, and he was a great pinch hitter, great bunter.
Nice, nice, nice. I don't have anything like that with Manny Mota, but that's cool that it's autographed. What do you remember about him basically growing up?
Well, I don't remember him too much growing up. Like I think he was already a older player. when I started watching. So, like, what I really remember, one of the biggest things I remember is like Fernando Mania. You know what I mean? And that alone, if you really weren't that interested in the Dodgers, uh, the city, just everybody got into it. That made you a Dodger fan. You know what I mean? So my parents became like really big into the Dodgers, but this is what like 81, 82, 83. A little bit past Mota's prime. But I do remember him a lot because when I first started at Dodger Stadium, we used to work on the home side. We used to see him every day. Every day he'd come into our locker room. He's a big guy with giving stuff back to the Dominican and all these other third world countries. So he was known for constantly asking players for their autographs, asking them for their cleats, their gloves, their bats, shoes, balls, everything, and he would send everything, back to his home countries and third world baseball places, and and sell the autographs for his foundation, for the Manimoto Foundation. He gave his heart back to baseball in third world countries. So
Very
that's one
cool.
of the things I remember him most by.
Isn't Manny Mota the guy who like clocked somebody with a bat or something like that? I think there was something with him where he lost his temper. Is that
Are you
not?
talking about the with the Giants and the Dodgers, the catcher?
I think so. Wasn't it him? For some reason,
No,
that name rings a bell or something.
no.
All right. So I guess you brought up Fernando Valenzuela. You got any of his cards?
Do I? Yes. Let's see if you can see them good from the back. Okay. I kind of have my pictures in order, so I gotta cut into this now. All right. So Fernando Valenzuela, he's such a big part, of Dodger baseball because Chavez Ravine is the name of the place that Dodger Stadium was built over. So a lot of people call Dodger Stadium Chavez Ravine, but Chavez Ravine were the homes that were there before, and they did eminent domain to build Dodger Stadium. So they forced out, which was largely a Mexican community, out of Chavez Ravine to build Dodger Stadium. So from when Dodger Stadium was built up to the 80s, almost no Mexicans. You look at old footage, you'll see it's mostly white people in suits and stuff. That wasn't until like Fernando Mania came in and regular people, blue collar people, people with jeans, hardcore fans, that are there, hardcore fans, not corporate fans or however you want to see it. But it made the Dodger fan base back to Rio at Dodger Stadium because before that the Mexicans weren't going till Fernando, and you'll hear stories too, like people say like, yeah, back in the days, I was called a sellout. So this one right here is like an Olympic card, and it says it's a 1 of 1, but I've never really seen these anywhere else besides this one. Sure, I could find it online, and I do have this autograph. Only thing is, I had one of these, and I gave it away or traded it in a blind trade, and then I got another one, and because they're numbered out of 16. So for me to have, traded one away and then get another one of the out of 16, but not the exact same card, I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, Fernando Mania really changed Dodger fandom around. I made it, brought back the regular fans to Dodger Stadium. But yeah, man, Fernando Mania, it was crazy. It was insane. Uh, he was like a rock star. Like going to a game, like if he got to a game where he was pitching, it was electric. Like if it was a World Series game, you know what I mean? It was just a regular game.
Right, right, right. I remember him always looking up and always wondering how's he hitting the strike zone if he's looking up. As a little kid, I would think that to myself.
Yeah, man. His nickname was El Toro. Yeah, and he had that crazy leg kick. for he's like a little chubby dude that looks kind of like Tommy Lasorda. So it's pretty wonderful how he was able to get his leg all the way up that high and look at the sky. You know, that's something that now I don't think anybody will ever teach you to take your eye away from the strike. You know what I mean? It's like you're focusing on that. And he would look away, and then right as he's about to start releasing, you know, start looking at where he's going to throw the ball.
Right.
But yeah, he brought back the screwball. You know what I mean? And he was he the year before he was in the bullpen and he like helped the Dodgers out in the playoffs. And then you know, who was it? Tom Needham, I forgot who it was. Jerry Royce was supposed to pitch and he got hurt. So they brought in Fernando Valenzuela to pitch opening day. You know, the guy who's never pitched in the started a major league game. They put him to start as an emergency, and Fernando Mania was born. You know, it took all that stuff put together for him to, and you know, who knew? And he took off.
So now that you brought up your childhood with Fernando Mania, I guess the only thing I could say from my childhood, which I can remember pitcher wise for the Yankees, was the nicknames and how I fell in love with all the nicknames of the pitchers like
Yeah,
Catfish, Gator, Louisiana Lightning, Rags for Rigetti. I'm trying to think of if there's anyone. So I'm gonna just show some. Oh, Goose, Goose. How could you forget Goose for Goose Gossage?
Rich.
Yeah. So let me put this on for me here real quick. So here's Catfish Hunter. Grew up just a catfish, and over here he autographed a catfish. So I love this autograph, Catfish. And then the Gator, Louisiana Lightning. I got a few I pulled out of the Gator. And then over here, this is autograph, which is pretty cool. You could barely see it though. He should have autographed it a little higher with the white showing and a few here. And then the Goose, my favorite card of the Goose is this one because he's finishing that throw and you could tell the torque, how
Yeah,
unbalanced and contorted his body looks. And then for Rags, I have this cool player pinstripe worn with the autograph. I have a few cards of his, but this is the coolest item I have of Rags. And the funny thing about Rags was when he started getting tattooed because his pitches weren't that great anymore, deceptive. I remember they pulled him from a game and he threw that ball in the upper deck. I was like, whoa, this dude has a temper, man. All right, so bring up another position. Let's talk about some.
wait.
Oh, you got somebody.
No, real quick. One of the guys is Kirk Gibson for the outfield. I wouldn't consider him a franchise Dodger player, even though a lot of, if you don't know, you know, your stuff, a lot of people think that when he hit that game-winning home run in the World Series, that was game one. You know what I mean? A lot of people always think like he we won the title with that hit. It wasn't the walk-off, you know, World Series win home run. But this guy, MVP, and I should have researched it, but his numbers during that MVP year were not, I think I would say he had like 25 home runs. You know what I mean? I don't think he batted 300, but he easily was the most valuable player. The Dodgers wouldn't be who they were in 1988 without him. You know what I mean? To me, I knew, like, this is where I learned what an MVP means, like the most valuable player. Like, you take Kirk away from the Dodgers, they are absolutely nothing.
Right,
You know,
right.
I believe that anyways, because we had Hershiser, but Hershiser, I don't think would have been as confident as he was pitching people inside and stuff like that if it wasn't for Kirk Gibson. You know what I mean? Well, I'm sure a lot of players do, but, you know, he did tell Oro, he's hey, don't be afraid to throw people in their face, on their chin. He's and if they charge them out, you run to right field and I'll kick their ass. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
that gives you the confidence, you know, because Oro Hershiser before that was a shy dude. You know what I mean? And then
right.
in 88, monster just came out of him.
John Mangini says Dusty Baker, and Peter B says Steve Yeager. And look, Steve Yeager and Steve Garvey. Wasn't Brett Butler on that team too?
With Steve Yeager
No, Brett Butler on that '88 team.
on the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I don't remember having a big role that year. I don't know if it was '88. I don't think it was '88. It was way after that.
it was after that.
I'm not. Yeah, I want to say,
Oh, okay.
man, I don't even remember. But yeah, I don't remember Brett Butler being on that team. You're confusing me. But yeah,
Maybe
man.
I'm thinking of the Giants, and I'm mixing up the Dodgers and the Giants. But I
No,
remember.
but Brett Butler was on the Dodgers, but I don't think he was under that early. At least I don't remember him being there. But man, he must have not had a role. But I mean, I remember Mickey Hatcher.
Mickey
Mickey
Hatcher.
Hatcher, I thought should have been the MVP of the World Series. You know, hit 2 home runs. Nowadays everybody hits 2 home runs a game, but at the time he had hit 1 home run like all season, and he hit,
Right, right.
and he hustled. You know, we had Rick Dempsey, like we had a badass clubhouse, dude, and Tommy. You know,
And Godlike Collectibles, Lou saying Steve Sachs. He was on that team too, right? Steve Sachs.
yeah, I have a card that it come up an egg. I mean, I was looking at it right now and I was gonna show it, but I was like, nah, because you wrote some kind of derogatory stuff, not derogatory, but not socially acceptable on there. But
Yeah,
yeah, Steve I mean, Steve Sachs is even associated with the 80, the early years of the Dodgers, '83. He was a rookie of the year. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And but yeah, he's a really cool guy. I had told story about him coming out of the shower when they were playing the Dodger Legends game. He was playing on the team. So, anyways, that's where I have a card that I wanted to show, but I was like, it might be a little bit too much.
Too risque.
But it was Steve Sachs.
Oh, okay. All right, so go ahead. Let's see some. If you want to go to a different position, keep it. So we don't get redundant. Let's go to like second base. I'll throw out this one. Second base. Any second basemen you have from your
Well, see,
original
yeah.
Dodgers?
So I'm putting out. I was talking about earlier how Jackie Robinson. I say, well, some of these guys play multiple positions. Jackie Robinson played first. But what was happening is people were stepping, on his foot on purpose, trying to hurt him. So they moved him to second. So I was like, so what do you put Jackie at, first or second? I ended up putting him on second base.
Okay.
All right, for this. And actually, he's my only second baseman, but I do have this 54 tops of
Nice.
Jackie. All right. I mean, the stories with Jackie, they could go on forever and ever. I could the stuff Branch Rickey did for him, and and just
56.
the stuff he had to do. And stealing home base was one of his things.
That's
So do you have and then I got this one that says game used, but it's not a vintage.
okay. No,
Ah,
that's hey, it's still a piece of date of Jackie Robinson. That's pretty cool.
yeah, that's what I was wondering. It says game used, but I don't know. I'll question it.
So I gotta throw up a second baseman. Let me see who I got here. Uh, I'm gonna go with make John Mangini a little happy here. One of the all-time best second basemen in Yankees history, and that's Tony Lazzari. An Italiano for John Mangini there. Tony Lazzari was a beast and one of the key cogs to the Yankees' success back in the days.
Oh, and I had this card. It was hidden. Sorry.
Oh, 55.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was stuck. It was stuck to the back of the seat. It was stuck back to the back of the PSA slab.
So
So
you got
another
54
example.
through 56.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, Tony Lazzari. Then you got like Joe D and all of them. So he was a big piece for a second baseman to be as productive as he was was pretty damn cool because second base isn't really considered like a big position,
Yeah,
where you had a big player or whatever. So Tony Lazzari was very productive. So yeah, let me move on to, let's see, third base. Let's do a third baseman. One of my favorite third basemen that I witnessed growing up, who was a beast at picking it. Let me put this bigger. Was Greg Nettles, and that's a 74 autograph. Seeing him diving on the field, crushing people's dreams, thinking they had a rope double down the line. And this guy was snagging it, highlight film after highlight film. I love it. Greg Nettles. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame just for his defense alone. If Ozzie Smith is in there with very little offense and all defense, this guy should be in there, man.
yeah. I think Greg Nettles has one of the big right '80s errors where they misspelled his name.
Yeah, Fleer card, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who do you got for second base? I mean, third base.
Well, for third base, that you were talking about nicknames. I have a Ron Say autograph. This is an archive throwback to 72, like if it was his rookie card. But Ron Say, he's also on the Mike Smith rookie card. So every time, I see a Mike Smith rookie card, I always say it's a Ron Say rookie. Ron Say was really, really good. Do you know his nickname?
No.
The Penguin.
The Penguin?
Yeah, he looks like a penguin and he moves like a penguin. So, I mean, he was one of my, favorite players growing up, like, because when we watch him on TV, my dad and my mom was, "Ándale pingüino, ándale pingüino," So I always remember that, both them yelling, "Ándale pingüino, cabrón." But he was a really good player. Mangini brought up some names like Dusty Baker. We had Davey Lopes. We had Ron Say, Steve Garvey. Like the four combined to each of them hit 30 home runs in one season on the same team, which is pretty nuts.
Okay. So let's talk about another position here. Who do you want to go with now? Which position?
All right. I only had some more modern players at third. So we'll go catcher.
Go catcher. We got some historic names at catcher. Yeah, you could go first. I'll put you in the big screen.
All right. So I'm going to go first with, the only vintage one I got a couple of cards I pulled out real quick, but this one was an accident. I don't know how I got there. I don't know if Gary Carter, you consider him the Dodgers franchise catcher.
No
kid.
way. No way.
Most people probably didn't even know he was a Dodger. But yeah, obviously Roy Campanella.
Nice. With the 53.
And then so there's another one of him playing catcher, which I'm hoping that we get into a discussion about a play at the catcher position. And so if you guys don't know, Roy Campanella had his career shortened. He was a beast. He won like 3 MVPs. And then he got into a car wreck right before the Dodgers came to LA. So this is his 59 card. Commemorating, he's still alive, but he was in a wheelchair. So he got a baseball card after, he had stopped playing. He still got a baseball card. And, and then I got this little coin from the Ted Williams thing. And Roy Campanella right here. Do you know who that is that he just knocked over?
No.
That's Billy Martin trying to score on a hit by Mickey Mantle.
Wow. And what's the story behind that? Was that
I
like a
think it
win?
was the World Series. I think it was one of the World Series games, and I think he was at second. Had a guy out third, and Mickey hit like a ball that the first guy made it in easy, but Billy Martin was going to be out by a mile, but he went anyways, and he just got hosed. You know what I mean? He got hosed at home.
Now, I have one question. Was Campy better than this guy right here? And that's Yogi Berra. They each won
Easily.
three MVPs. And I don't know. I think someone's smoking some weed right now because Yogi, to me, was a better three-time MVP winner than Campanella. But I think they were pretty close.
Well, you're not gonna. We're never gonna know, like what he would have done with a full career. You know, but
Yeah,
yeah, man. Yogi Berra is severely underrated because of his. Everybody knows him more for his yogiisms and his character and stuff like that. So it's kind of a shame because man, he's really he was really good. I haven't seen that documentary that came out about him either. Where I gotta watch that.
the story that I like about Campy is that he recommended to Branch Rickey or one of the scouts, someone, that they should take a look at Willie Mays.
Hmm.
And they thought when the scouts came back to him and told him, listen, this guy can't hit the curveball, they passed on Willie Mays. The Dodgers had the first opportunity to sign Willie Mays. They could have had him and Duke Snyder patrolling the outfield. Imagine that team with Willie Mays on there, Jackie Robinson, Duke, everyone, Duke Snyder, Newcomb, Campanella. Like, that would have been nuts. Pee Wee Reese. But yeah, that's my favorite Campy story was that he recommended they take a look at Willie Mays, and the Dodgers shut that down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
the
show.
Branch Rickey was a big analytics guy. I think he was like the first real analytics dude who looked at all those numbers. He's the one that really started prospecting, like looking at kids in high school and trying to judge whether or not they could get better or they're not going to get any better, and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, same story goes with Tommy Lasorda when we had Pedro Martinez was on the Dodgers, and Tommy said, this guy's too skinny. He's never going to be a major league pitcher. It's
Yeah,
Pedro Martinez.
right, right.
He got rid of him.
Do you have any more vintage? Because I might just round off all my vintage catchers then in that case.
Well, I got a vintage for every position.
All right, because I got like three more names here. I don't want to stay stuck on
On the
vintage.
catchers,
Yeah. What do you think? Should
well,
I
I
start?
can show a couple of modern catchers.
All right, well,
Ah, what-
let me just polish off the catchers with the vintage. So I got Bill Dickey, who was a beast. He was like one of the best premier catchers who taught Yogi Berra all that he knew and helped Yogi Berra become the player he became. And that's because of Bill Dickey. And then, ironically, he had the highest average for a catcher up until your guy Piazza caught him. And then, of course, vintage era. This is one of the best vintage cards in the vintage era. And here's a
yeah,
few.
Thurman Munson.
Thurman Munson. And then more vintage, more fire, more fire. The guy who took over for Yogi Berra was Elston Howard, who is a Uber utility guy because when Yogi Berra was catching, they had to find a place for him in the lineup. He was just too good. So they stuck him at first, stuck him in the outfield, and he was good at everything up until Yogi retired and he took over. But by that time, he was already getting a little bit older. So he wasn't as productive as a catcher. But Elston Howard won an MVP, really good player.
Yeah, I mean, we had like John Roseborough who took Roy Campanella's place, so he got to catch for Sandy Koufax. So I do believe he caught all four no hitters from Sandy. So that's
Okay.
pretty impressive just to be able to catch four no hitters to call them at least, you know.
Yeah. Well, you just brought up a big name there, probably the biggest name for the Dodgers, man. Let's see this Sandy guy you just mentioned. You got any
Well, real
Sandy you
quick,
want to throw up there?
yeah, but real quick, I'll throw in
Go
Mike
ahead.
Piazza just to tell the story from Dodger fans' point of view. So Dodgers, we had this guy Vince Scully who was our announcer like forever, our first and only, announcer. He started when he was like in his 20s, almost up to his death. He was our announcer, and Mike Piazza, when he got traded, he blamed getting traded, not wanting to come back to the Dodgers on Vince Scully. And most Dodger fans have took Vince Scully's side. You know what I mean, over Mike Piazza. So if you don't know, a lot of Dodger fans don't necessarily like Mike Piazza. You know, because
Really?
everything, yeah, because of everything the Dodgers did for him. And then he wrote a book too. He put it in a book, I think, where he just talks smack about the Dodgers. So Dodger fans actually don't appreciate him much. And he went in as a Met to the Hall of Fame.
Wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that. And Hammer 44 thinks Vince Scully is a true legend.
Oh yeah.
Rick co-signs with you. Piazza hates us. Mookie Chilson, thank you, Vin. All
All
right,
right.
so
So um, real quick, I'm gonna talk about this guy. I'm gonna go into my pictures, and I'm gonna show my first picture because I had his card is the oldest. So this Dodger pitcher, you can see him in the background right there pitching. It's Tommy Lasorda. This is his rookie card when he was with Brooklyn. Now, a lot of people probably don't know that he was like a champion boxer in the Army. He was in the service before he got into baseball, and he was like the best boxer. So even though he wasn't very big, he was an Italian and he had some crazy heart in him. He was kind of like their guy that they would put in to hit people. You know what I mean? He threw against the Yankees plenty of times, threw right at him. Because he was a boxer and he could defend himself. But Tommy Lasorda, yeah. So, and if you guys don't know, uh, Tommy only pitched like a year or two, and he got replaced. All right, he lost his starting pitching job to Sandy Koufax, and those are
nice.
facts. So Tommy Lasorda got sent down to be replaced by Sandy Koufax. Here is
Nice.
the Sandy Koufax rookie. Look at this is one of my first cards when, believe me, I didn't care. Like I was so stoked and excited to get this card. Look at the shape it's in.
Right.
And I got another card in kind of the similar conditions, probably the same owner. And then I'm gonna show this one because what I wanted to do was only show him in the Brooklyn hats. And this one is a modern one, but I love this meanie right here, and it's so shiny. But he is in a Brooklyn hat. One thing I like about it is that stupid thick sticker they put on there. But it is a numbered card. I don't think you can see the number, but yeah, Sandy Koufax, man, the left arm of God. Uh, you can't be. He has one of the greatest 5-year stints ever. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, when they judge a pitcher by just that small sample size, like who had the best 5 years, Sandy Koufax will most likely always top that list. But he left the game because he got arthritis in his elbow, and he left the game early, so he didn't have a full career.
A lot of people love that. Lasorda's game for I had Lasorda's baseball game for Genesis. You remember that game?
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that until I read that. I was like, dang, I do remember that game. All right, so now based on what you said about a tie-in, I have a tie-in with a player, which is not to the same level, but I thought it's kind of cute. Let me look for it here. Okay, so when the Yankees had the new Yankee Stadium, basically in the 20s, in the first game, this man right here, let me bring this up, Bob Shockey, he was pitching a great game, and basically it was like a gem. And for the first game, it was interesting because he could have went down with the headlines as bringing the I guess having the stadium be his. But then lo and behold, this man hits a home run and it becomes the house that Ruth built. So
Who's
it's
that guy?
funny
Babe
that,
Ruth?
yeah, Bob
Oh,
Shaw.
I put him on. I put him on my franchise best too for the Dodgers.
Oh yeah. And here's another Babe Ruth card, a Gaudy card. And
Yeah, well,
this is a recent pickup, African
man, that's
tobacco
beautiful.
card. I love the image of him looking up in the sky at a shot. This is my newest Babe Ruth card.
Yeah. So do you have this one?
No, I don't have coaching for the Dodgers. Come on,
This,
man.
no, this is real.
I know
They,
it's a 62.
yeah, he coached for the Dodgers. He has a Dodgers bobblehead and everything. But yeah, it's your team, but people know if people don't know the story, Babe Ruth thought he could manage, you know what I mean, and was wanted the Yankees promised him a managing job or a coaching job, and then they told him, "Oh, go show us that you can coach," and he went with the Dodgers. Dodgers at the time were just doing it as kind of as a publicity stunt, get people into the stadium. So
Yeah.
yeah, he was a third base coach for the Dodgers for a year.
Wow. Thank God that didn't last too long, man. You would have been trying to say he's a lifelong Dodger or something. All right.
Oh yeah, he always considered himself a Dodger over a Yankee after he retired.
I'm sure. I'm sure. He did all signings. Thank God. God made me a Dodger, right? Dodger blue. All
Yeah,
right. So I guess I'll leave it up to you. Want to throw up another one?
yeah, because this guy is goes hand in hand with Oral Hershiser with Sandy Koufax, and that's Don Drysdale. I had a
Nice.
bunch of cards. I was pulling them all out, and there's so many leader cards with both of them on it. You know what I mean? ERA leaders for all these different years, most strikeouts, everything like that. They have a lot of cards that they share together. But you know, here's the burlap
Nice.
and 58, 54, 54. So Don Drysdale, man, a lot of people used to say that Sandy Koufax could have probably been a better pitcher than he was if he had a personality like Don Drysdale, because both of them, you could almost say they were kind of equal. Sometimes Don Drysdale was better, but people used to say is like, if Sandy Koufax could do what like Don Drysdale did and scare people and pitch at their face, pitch at them on purpose because he was a big dude. There's always one of my favorite stories is that I read on a Mickey Mantle book is Mickey Mantle bunted on Don Drysdale, and when Mickey got on first, Don Drysdale walked over there and just stepped on his foot with his cleat and crunched it and said, "Don't ever do that again." And Mickey Mantle was just like, "No, sir, I'll never do it again." Like,
Oh
he's a
my.
dude. He was scared. Don Drysdale was a scary dude.
So before Bob Gibson, it was Don Drysdale.
Yeah, people. Don Drysdale used to do it on purpose, and I don't know, man. I remember hearing a interview with Bob Gibson way later, and he was saying like, "No, man, I never did any of that stuff on purpose." I had these glasses, and I don't like to wear them when I pitch. So when I was up there, I had to squint to see the count. And so when every time I did that, like I would put like he would show his teeth just because he was squinting. He's people thought I was mad dogging them or trying to scare them. He's I'm just trying to see the sign. He's but it worked in his favor, you know.
Look at Mookie Chilson. He said Mickey Mantle said that before All-Star games, Don Drysdale would come up to him and ask Mickey where he wanted to get hit that day. Don was tough. So yeah, a lot of people know the story. Then I'm not
Yeah,
aware.
because I think it was Frank Robinson that the manager told him to walk him to put him on base. You know, back in the days, you had to actually throw the 4 pitches.
Okay.
So he said he just aimed at his ribs and boom. And when people asked him, like, why'd you throw Frank Robinson? He's like, why am I going to waste 4 pitches?
You know,
That's why.
I kind of miss the old days for that reason, because now with all the showboating, what was the game recently? The Arizona game, Ketel Marte, they hit back-to-back home runs or something like that. And Ketel Marte hits that home run, and he just stayed there looking at that home run. I was like, oh my God, if this was like the 50s or the 60s, he would have had a crack
Yeah.
next time up. And
Yeah, you can't do that no more. You get a warning. I mean, nowadays you get thrown out without a warning too.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no respect, mutual respect for each other. Like, it's just you could do whatever. Every play is celebrated. So sometimes maybe I sound like an old guy or get off my lawn or none of that. But I don't know. I guess I'm an old soul. I don't care for all this showboat.
We love we love what we grew up on. You know.
Yes, so yeah. All right, so now you got me with Don Drysdale. I don't have many of this man's cards, and maybe that's something I need to work on. But I guess the best Yankees pitcher is this man,
Chairman of the board,
Whitey Ford. This is my favorite card of his. And this, obviously, I punted, like centering and everything. This, I just fell in love with this card with the sky and everything. He's holding up the ball. And I just think this is a great looking card of Whitey Ford.
That is awesome. I love that pose right there, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I love this card. I would love to have his rookie card, but this is a great, runner up to the rookie, I guess, is having this card. I interrupted.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, what I was gonna say, that card it looks so awesome. It almost looks like one of those pictures that they would take back in the days where they would go to your house or you go to the Kmart or whatever and they have the different backgrounds and you choose the clouds and he's just telling you, look at the ball, like you love it. You know what I mean? But I love that because I'm not, like a lot of people might say, oh, I hate what do they call, like posed or stage. It's like, to me, it's like, well, that's how we took every picture back in the day because you couldn't afford to just take 1,000 pictures like you can on the phone today. If you had a Polaroid, or if you had a thing, you only had so many pictures you could take. So you had to make them all count.
I got a perfect picture for you who's what you would say is staged as can be. Let me look up his cards to show you to what you were saying. All right, staged photo. This man has nothing but staged photos. Mel Stoudemire. Every card you can find of him staged. It's like the Sears Roebuck special right here. Staged.
Every Yankee pitcher.
Staged.
Every Yankee pitcher has that same pose.
Staged.
That same throw.
Yeah,
there wasn't action shots back then until 73 tried them,
Mel Stoudemire, great pitcher, never won any accolades, but when you look up his WAR, he's right there up there with Cliff Lee and Jack Morris. That's where his name is with those two great pitchers.
With Chuck Norris?
No, not Chuck Norris.
Oh.
Jack Morris. All right.
So for pitchers, real quick, I'm gonna also have Ora Hershiser. Same thing as Sandy Koufax, best 5 years ever. Well, Ora Hershiser had like the best 58 innings ever, with this consecutive beating Don Drysdale, who had the record previous at, which was like at 56 or something, and Earl threw like 58, or I don't remember exactly the numbers, but sicko. Love this Oral Hershiser card. Just wanted to show this card.
I
But
like that
yeah,
his
that ties in
glasses.
with Don Drysdale.
I like that the glasses in that card has the
Yeah,
refractor on the
that's a
lens.
badass card, dude. I love that card.
I wish they would have done that with Reggie with his big glasses he always had.
Yeah, they should.
Make them
Do you have
reflect.
another picture?
I have more pictures. I got a big stack, man.
All
Um,
right.
guy, you want to throw one more up? I'll look for the ones. Do you
Well,
want me?
I got one more picture coming up. Watch it over Hershiser, so it's your turn.
Oh, okay. All right. This will probably make someone kind of happy, and I'll show historical. Adam from the Vintage Sanctuary loves the story of the big three: Ed Lopat, Ali Reynolds, that's another Ed Lopat, and Vic Rashi. And I don't know why he gravitated to these guys, the big three back in the days, but he did. And I actually admire that he takes liking to some of the Yankees history. But those big three helped the Yankees throughout the 50s become the dynasty and win five World Series titles in a row. Big three, you're up.
All right. So one pitcher, modern, still pitching, is Clayton Kershaw. And if he does retire this year, the Dodgers will be the only team he ever played for.
Nice.
So, but here's a couple of his cards. I got an autograph, to this one. What, it's like number to 15, I think.
That's sweet.
But yeah, Kershaw. I mean, that guy is lights out, and except in the playoffs. Oh man, he sorry, it's just I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
Now,
Doesn't have it in the playoffs.
You got to show the autograph one more time, because if it's one thing about autographs nowadays where penmanship is lost, this guy's autograph looks like Martian writing. Check that out.
Yeah,
That's definitely Martian writing right there.
yeah. I think like, man, I hate doing this, but like this part right here looks like it's Indiana Jones whipping his whip. Then you got the number 4.
Indiana Jones stick figure whipping his whip. Oh, flexing, giving a big flex with no muscle.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I always thought that looked like alien writing or something, man. That's so funny with his signature. All right, let's see. I gotta show. How about I show this guy? One of my favorites. All right, here we go. I have these all jumbled up. We're going to go with Mariano Rivera, one of my favorite pitchers and baseball players. Franchise, has the most saves in the history of baseball. Great guy. Can't speak enough about Mariano Rivera. I'm so proud to have witnessed his dynasty years, Core 4 member. And I just love how he conducts himself off and on the field. How he is just a spiritual man, always talks about God first. And I love his autograph. Going away from Martian writing, look how beautiful that autograph is. And I just had to get this one when it said Hall of Fame 2019 because, he's the only unanimous Hall of Fame guy to enter. So gotta do it up with Mariano there.
Yeah, overrated. But anyways.
All right, go ahead. Who put up a closer since I just did a closer? You got any closers?
No, you know what? I didn't even look for my Marshall card.
Yeah,
But I would
two
have put
great closers. What are you talking about? Mike Marshall and
yeah,
Eric.
and Eric Gagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if I look into a box, I'll pull out an Eric Gagne.
All right. So
But
then,
yeah, we. Oh, and then we had Chan Ho Park as a pitcher. Who I don't know if you guys know, but he did a wonderful helicopter kick during a game in a fight. Uh, but yeah, that was pretty sick. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna find one, but no, I didn't prepare my closers. I would have put Mike Marshall and Eric Gagne. Mike Marshall was a pitcher in the '70s who was known as the Moose. Uh, I don't know if he still has the record, but he had the record for at the time for relievers. He pitched in 105 games, which back then is way more incredible than it is now. So I can see it easily being broken now. But back then, it was unheard of for a person to come out of the bullpen that many times. But yeah, man, I don't think I'm gonna find an Eric Gagne. These are all modern.
Victor
I suck.
Negron, he wants you to show your favorite Hyunjin Ryu.
Oh, I just passed a bunch of Hyunjin Ryus right now. Yeah, let me. On this deck, I had a bunch of them.
Dang, you got a big stack there.
But yeah, these right here for some reason I have like a bunch of the Asian pictures. So Hyunjin Ryu. That's the way Hyunjin Ryu. But yeah, man. Yeah, I got a lot of Hyunjin Ryus. You know, and this Japanese writing card of Hideo Nomo.
Nice.
So yeah, there's a Hyunjin Ryu rookie. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find an Eric Gagne in these boxes right here. Oh, there's a Hyunjin Ryu right there.
You got more Ryus than Channel Park, so anyone else.
Oh, I was in love with Hyunjin Ryu.
Were you? That guy always
Yeah,
got hurt. I used to have him in my fantasy league, and he'd let me down because he'd get hurt right when he was
yeah,
going like 10-2. Like he was having a great season, and then he get hurt, and that's it, out for 2 months because he's
yeah.
fat or something. He used to annoy me. All right. So I'm gonna elect first base. We haven't talked about first base, and I only have 3 players for first.
I only have two.
You
Oh,
want me
two
to do
left.
all 3 players, I guess? Only one shot?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go with the latest first baseman that helped us out with the dynasty, and that's the Bamtino. I love this card right here. It's numbered and it's a beauty. This one's nice and shiny. I don't say it like you, but I love Bamtino. Helped us out throughout the years. Then we go to my childhood days. And of course, I'm going to go to Donnie Baseball.
Oh,
My favorite Donna Mattingly card. I prefer this one over the tops every day of the week. Then I got an autograph of Donnie Baseball right there that Pickett Mess gifted me. And then I have the most storied guy at first base, and that's Lou Gehrig. I love that picture of Lou. And then my favorite card of his is the 34 Gaudi Lou Gehrig.
nice, man. That was some nice. That's some heat you got right there.
You got heat too. What are you talking about?
Nah, but I do have Gil Hodges at first. Gil Hodges, man. This guy was like also a super beloved. The Brooklyn Dodgers was like super beloved back in their days. But and I think in the 1951 World Series, he was the first player. I don't know if he's still the only player ever like to start all 7 games and play every complete game and never get a hit. Now, Gil Hodges was a beast on the field. He's a beast, but he just choked in the playoff against the Yankees. There was a story that back in the days that in 1952, the 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 Catholic churches, all the churches in Flatbush area, and around for Brooklyn Dodgers, said there will be no church today. I just want everybody to go home and say a prayer for Gil Hodges to start hitting again, like officially. Like it was official. Everybody said they went to churches, and that's what the church message. Everybody just went home and pray that Gil Hodges starts hitting again.
That he finds his stroke.
Yeah, and that's true story. And also our first base that someone was bringing up earlier, Steve Garvey. And I do believe Steve Garvey. I don't know if he's still in first place or he had the most consecutive game streak in the National League. Now, Cal Ripken has it for all of baseball, but I do believe Steve Garvey had it for the National League. He was the Iron Man for us. Man, this guy had some big old forearms. He was always really good. And then when one day Tommy Lasorda just said, because he had these big old Popeye forearms, and one day Tommy Lasorda is like, dude, you just look like you could hit more home runs. He's like, why don't you? And Steve Garvey said, okay, I'll pull back more, see if I can get some more pop. And then he started becoming a home run, hitter after that.
Nice.
But those are my 2 first basemen right there. Yeah, like I remember one of my a player that was growing on me for a long time was Adrian Gonzalez at first base. But I think he also had like a consecutive game playing streak going, and he hurt his back. He hurt his back during the game. So the next day they sat him out, and he was pissed. He did not want to sit out, but they were like, dude, your back's too messed up. Like he wanted to keep playing with a messed up back. They're like, dude, you can't hit, you can't, and yeah, he was hurt. So when we went to the playoffs, he just left the country on vacation and didn't stick around for the playoffs while we were in it because he wasn't on the roster because he was hurt. But yeah, man, he's one of those dudes too. Like he left LA with everybody with a sour taste in their mouth, when he left.
Yeah. I was just reminded by Scott. Moose Scourin was first base, and I actually had this guy shuffled in with my outfielders. Moose Scourin. This was Mickey Mantle's boy over here, Moose Scourin. And then I actually have in this ball, it's a 61 ball, and I have his signature right there, Moose Scourin. It's pretty cool. So I didn't want to forget. Thank you for reminding me, Scott. I forgot I had that in my pile there.
So, and then I do have a Team Ball 2 autograph, and you see right there is Sandy Koufax.
Nice.
It's got a, from my understanding, like this ball right here, you got it was a Dodger reunion party in 1965. Because I remember somebody told me, he's like, man, I seen the ball, like looks almost exactly the same. And he looked it up, and yeah, like there was a couple of them on sale on his eBay thing that he found on eBay, and they both said like the starter is from the 1965 reunion of the Dodgers.
I looked this up with John, this ball over here, and John helped me find a few of the signatures, but the most famous one is Mickey Mantle, and we figured out it was a 61 signed ball because of some of the names that were in it. They only played like 1 year for the Yankees, and 61 was where some of the names were at. There goes Whitey Ford there on the bottom, and that's Hank Bauer above him. But some of the names, I think like this guy right here, Joe something, he only played for the 61 Yankees, and that's how we figured out that was a 61 signed baseball. All right, so I guess I'm next. Let's do shortstop, man, because I want to see some of your Pee Wee Reese's, and
Shortstop?
yeah, I only got two shortstops, but you can go first.
I only pick one too. I only pick Pee Wee Reese.
All right, so
Um,
maybe
I I almost wanted to go with Corey Seager, but I was like,
come on, man. Everybody wants to hear your Corey
that
Seager.
was going.
Corey
That
Seager.
was being a homer.
Who was
But I do have this 53 tops Pee Wee Reese.
okay? It's a beautiful one.
Yeah, this is like one of my first vintage cards that I ever really got.
Really?
Yeah. Well, any card you see like these with these screw downs, that's one of the things I hear so much. Like I bought these cards, like I've had these cards like 15 to 20 years,
Okay.
so I don't know. I always imagine that they've been in these screw downs or almost, since the 80s.
Uh-huh.
And so the thing with screw downs, what they say a lot of times, if they were screwed down tight and you take it apart, it'll get paper loss. You know what I mean? Or you're squishing it and you're pressing it, and it's not going to be the same size. But so people always tell me, take it out of there. It damages it. It was like, well, if it's damaged, it's already damaged. I'm only going to hurt it more if it do get paper loss, if all that stuff is true. But yeah, I have a couple of cars with these big old screw downs. Like that's the only way I used to see them 20, 25 years ago. Wearing those big screw downs.
Right.
I do have this other Pee Wee Reese.
Nice. That's a beautiful one.
And this was the first Pee Wee Reese I bought. Remember I was talking about that other Sandy Koufax, which was in horrible condition. I said, I got a Pee Wee Reese from the same year. It's also in the horrible condition. So now that I think about it, I wonder if it had the same owner. But it's pretty bad. But yeah, it was the first. I mean, it was the first Pee Wee Reese card I ever got, and it was like $5 or $10, and I just like couldn't resist. Like and cards like this with me, I have no plan on upgrading them. I don't want to get this card. This is it. I love that first card I got.
Mm.
I lost my Pee Wee Reese virginity to this one.
We got a couple screw down fans over here. Victor Negron had a Clemente in a screw down for a long time. And my man Orlando had a Mickey Mantle in a screw down for a long time with no problem. I have a Jackie Robinson in a screw down currently, and I'm about to send that off to grading. But
yeah, I got this one in the screw down. I mean, but these things look like they're bulletproof though.
Yeah, when I put my Jackie Robinson in there, I just screwed it with a little bit of tension, just enough to hold the card in place, but not to like really mash it down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're careful and you know what you're doing, you're not damaging it. It's the people that I'm not in. If you did that with a drill gun, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let me get on with my shortstops here. I got the Scooter with his Leaf card, which is kind of a rookie card, not really. If you go by Dave Blue Jacket 66, this is a 49, not a 48. And then my favorite card of his is the 1950, where he's jumping up in the air, and it's just a beautiful card.
Okay, real quick with that Phil Rizzuto.
Yeah.
Those are the cards where all the photos were taken in 48, though, right? And they were ready, either probably maybe in 47 or 48. But they just didn't get released till 49, right? They didn't get printed. So the photo itself, is it still,
It's still from the young era. And then I guess with Jeter, one of my favorite Yankees, I don't want to make this a whole big thing here, but obviously, let me put this big real quick. We got his rookie card. And then I got two 96 rookie cards that are my favorites because it has the laser cutout of the stadium freeze on the top.
Yeah, those are nice.
These are like, I love these cards. I can't tell you how much I love these cards. I don't see too many people showcasing that card, which leads me to believe they're really.
Yeah, those laser cut cards back then, man. Nice auto right there.
Yeah, this is my only autograph of Jeter, and I love it because it's on the yellow creamish background. Lets the autograph really pop. I'll probably get this graded just to have it slabbed. And let's see. Terry just spoke about how this is his favorite card of Jeter. Nice action shot. I guess just one more. I love this SP with George Bush and Mickey Mantle in the crowd. So
They
yeah.
should have put Mickey Mantle with the bat in the crowd.
Like he's warming up on the on deck circle or something. All right. So let's go. We're gonna probably have to end this soon. We've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. Let's do rapid fire. Let's show some heat with some other positions. If you want to go, we could take turns. And we'll
Oh,
just start showing players, not by position. Let's just show players, I guess. I got a stack of outfielders.
well, just like honorable mentions, I think people that I wish would have stayed franchise players or would have stood with the same talent level that they started off with. But I got this Cody Bellinger, which I
Nice.
pulled. I pulled out of a retail pack, but it's an auto.
Nice. And then I guess someone had mentioned they wanted to see Willie Randolph. So here's a Willie Randolph looking to steal. Beautiful autograph of Willie. And one of my favorite cards of his is this Diamond King. Shows him fielding and the intense look of him at bat. Go ahead. Your turn now.
All right. So there was this 4-year period where the Dodgers had the 4 Rookie of the Years consecutively from 92
Yes.
from 92 to 95. You had Eric Karros get it in 92, Mike Piazza in 93, Raul Mondesi in 94, and Hideo Nomo in 95. So 4 in a row, you know. So that's a sweet card. I remember when we were talking earlier about it, I said, you know what, I'm going to show the 4 Rookie of the Years. And I was going through my box, and I found this card with all 4 of them on one. I was like, oh, well, now I don't have to go through each one individually.
That is sweet. And I remember those times when they just kept dominating the Rookie of the Years back to back to back to back. You would think they were going to have like a dynasty with those names
Yeah.
being one after the other after the other. It was crazy. And Mondesi never really panned out to be better than just a very good player, right? Often injured or
Yeah,
whatever.
he had his sweet couple of sweet years, you know.
Right. All right, let me do rapid fire with some pictures here. I got a Don Larson autograph, Mr. Perfecto there. Of course, CC's a franchise guy. El Duque, 8-1 in the playoffs. Gotta give him a mention there. Japanese guy, Masahiro Tanaka with his rookie card. I love this card. Sparky Lyle, look at the amount of chew he had there.
Yeah, back in the day.
Mercy. I got a Herb Pinnock, 33 Gowdy. Andy Pettit. Gotta love you some Andy Pettit. And Lefty Gomez, Triple Crown winner. Lefty Gomez, comedian. One of the funniest Yankees that ever played for them.
I wasn't ready for a rapid fire, but okay, I got these two over here. I do have a postcard of Babe Ruth on the Dodgers coaching third, vintage. I got this Pee Wee Reese Bell Brands potato chip card.
That is sweet. I love that card. That is not too many of those, right?
No, these are classics. And then so a couple of modern Yasiel Puig, probably one of the best players to ever play. He
Yeah,
just pissed it away. You know what I mean?
right.
Matt Kemp. All right. Look at that chine on that card. Sicko. He look how young he looks.
Yeah, I used to love that.
Uh, and his partner in crime at that time, those couple years, was Andre Ethier. Now, if you're not familiar with Andre Ethier, but in this heyday, in this prime, he was on ESPN. He was on everything, Sports Illustrated. Halfway through the year, he was on pace. He was winning like the Triple Crown category. You know what I mean? And he was making all kinds of commercials. He just got super famous. He was like the face of MLB for a couple months. But he was in it for the Triple Crown and just didn't keep it up.
Yeah.
And I do have another Ron Say autograph. Like I trip out on this label. I don't know if this is Double D Vintage's label, but it's a 77 Tops Ron Say autograph graded 6. Like I don't know how even Pink does better grading than this. How
Right.
much would you how much would you pay for this slab?
Uh, 3 cents. All right. You got well. Do you got more though? Because I still got a few. I got a
I mean,
stack of
I could get
outfielders.
I could just pull out a box real quick.
All right, so I'm gonna go through my outfielders, round out my outfielders. I got like 10 outfielders here that were franchise Yankees. Um, here's Godzilla. Love me some Hideki Matsui, MVP of the 2000. Oh, this is Paul O'Neill. My bad. Here's another. How'd that get in there? And then I have the modern franchise player who's gonna wear pinstripes forever, and that's Aaron Judge. All rise. And I love this card, the Unleash. This is a sweet card with the bear in the background. And I have some left over. How about Roy White? Great Yankee for a long time. Then he went to go play in Japan. Then, speaking of how I wish these sunglasses were refractor, because this card would be so cool. My favorite card of Reggie is this one, of course, hitting a bomba.
Yeah, it's a big swing he's taking right there, a big cut.
Then we got Gil McDougall, great Yankee. Hank Bauer with the 52 tops. They're asking for Bernie. Let me give you some Bernie here. Burn, baby, burn. His rookie card and his autograph on the top there next to Torrey Hunter. This is funny. Bob Mercer, you have him there with a 66 rookie stars. And then in 67, he's back to a rookie star all over again. So they couldn't make
Who,
up their mind. Bobby Mercer.
who has the record for that? Isn't it like Terry Francona or something?
Why? How many rookies does he have?
I think he has 4 of those future stars on with like the 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Is back-to-back MVP years with Roger Maris. And let's go with some Big Dave Winfield. And this is a big card over here.
Yeah, Dave Winfield was a big boy player. He played multiple sports in college too.
Yeah, and then I can't forget Paul O'Neill. I love Paul O'Neill. This guy was the man. Do I have any more Paul O'Neills? Yeah. Man, this is a cool one with his back showing. Overhead shot. And then there's another one. So yeah, that was rapid fire with my outfielders. You want me to put you up big again?
Yeah, let me do one real quick. Ah, man, I just looked through this box. One of the guys I was talking about real quick. All right. And this rookie. And this rookie. And all right. So a real rapid fire then. Just a card I just pulled out of a box real quick. I got this team card right here of the House of the Rising Sun. Los Angeles Dodgers. Pedro Guerrero, rookie, third baseman. Rudy Law and
Nice.
Joe Homer Simpson. Oro Hershiser, rookie from 85 Tops. Adrian Gonzalez, but he was on the Marlins. Dave Stewart, rookie.
Oh, that's great.
So I do believe he became Matt Kemp's agent. Pedro Martinez. What? To Pedro Martinez. Yeah. Hard to believe he was a Dodger and we just let him go. Another Dodger great pitcher is Johnny
Johnny
Podres.
Padres.
And
Nice.
then we got the best eyebrows in baseball, Wally Moon. And a lot of people don't know this, but when the Dodgers moved to LA and they were playing in the Coliseum, their left field was kind of exactly almost like the Green Monster, but it was just a fence. It was just a net, so it was just a giant net because it was so short because it's a football field.
Right.
And so Wally Moon made it a career out of hitting it off that net. You know what I mean? So every time he do that, that's when they started using the term a moonshot. That's where
Oh,
the term a moonshot came from. Every time he would do that, that's a moonshot. Or once a lot of people started doing that, oh, a moonshot. It was because of Wally Moon, just play on his name. Another Dave Stewart rookie right there. Hershiser rookie. Dave Lopes, part of the infield four. That had the Dodgers had the four infield players that played together consecutive start years for the longest time. Steve Sachs, somebody wanted a little Steve Sachs action.
there you go.
Maury Wills autograph. I'm glad this one didn't fade. It's on one of those sicko like shadow box with the baseball with man. The stitching is awesome.
Yeah, and
Um,
those cards tend to fade over time. You see some of those
oh,
on eBay, you could barely make out the autograph.
yeah, I think what happened was when Upper Deck first started doing this, they were buying fake leather, like just and so on that material it would fade, and then they changed the material and the pen, and now it didn't, and then they got rid of that problem. But this one, just because it's a Fleer metal, and man, I just think those are so sick. Any Fleer metal, look at that,
Yeah,
look at his arm,
that's
sicko.
97 Fleer metal, right?
Yeah, and then a Daryl Strawberry, the Tower of Power. But man, those holograms back in the day, they don't make them like they used to.
That's a sick card.
All right, so there's a quick rapid fire for you.
All right, I'm gonna do my last bit of rapid fire, and I gotta apologize to Mookie because he says, "Did you forget Ricky Henderson, a Yankee and a Dodger and a Met?" Dude.
And he was a short-term Dodger. Everybody, when he was with the Dodgers, they called him Hindu.
Mm-hmm. And I thought about including him. I did not include him for one main reason. One, the way that he got out of the Yankees by loafing, that like made me want to puke that he did
He was
that.
breaking bread.
Nah, he was loafing. He wanted out and he got out and then he went back to being an MVP player for the A's. And that like just left such a bad taste in my mouth with Ricky Henderson. He was great. I'm not saying he's garbage. And he had some great years with the Yankees, but it was only like 3.5 years. I don't know if that makes you a franchise player. And the way he bowed out, like looking to get out of the Yankees, that's why I decided not to throw any
Well,
Ricky
well,
Henderson
see,
cards up in here.
see, with me, I don't think I've ever really said this before on YouTube, but when I was a kid, I remember Barry Bonds when he left Pittsburgh. At that time, that's kind of when he left a sour taste in my mouth. This had nothing to do with steroids. It was just at that time he was jealous that Andy Van Slyke was like their franchise player. He was the face of the team. The fans loved him.
Right.
Loved Andy Van Slyke more than him, and he couldn't handle that. He had to be the number one guy on his team. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's why he left. That's why he wanted to go away. Uh, so at that time, that's why I had those feelings towards Barry Bonds, like you know,
Yeah.
cheapo dude.
So, all right, let me do rapid fire with my last bit of guys. They were talking about Sweet Lou. There goes Sweet Lou taking a pose. This guy talk about sour taste in the mouth. I kind of didn't want to show him, but he did win MVP with the Yankees, won a ring with them. A
Oh,
but that is
tell
one.
me he's not Bush League though. Hey,
Uh,
I love Alex Rodriguez, but he's got a couple of Bush League moves.
he does slapping the ball out. This
And,
guy,
and
I was wishing would stay a Yankee because I liked him a lot.
oh yeah,
Alfonso Soriano, 40-40 man, and could not hit the slider with an oar, but I was fine. He was a baby bomber. Bobby
dude,
Richardson. I don't have a vintage card
oh,
of Bobby Richardson, but this man was
is
such.
is that an autograph?
Yeah,
Man, that's some nice writing.
yeah. Liam gifted me this, so I got to give credit to Liam. I have something of Bobby Richardson, and this guy right here, I thought was the greatest, Robinson Cano, and then he goes into the Hall of Shame with steroid use. But as a Yankee, hey, he was a beast. He was like the best second baseman in baseball for like 3 or 4 years there. And then how can I forget Jorge Posada? I love Jorge Posada. Very good catcher
Yeah.
in all facets and switch hitter. Great offense, Jorge Posada. So that's my last bit of cards I put into this big shoebox. Look at this.
Do you remember that other Bush League move? Oh, nice. That's a pretty big box. Do you remember that other Bush League move that Alex Rodriguez did when he was running the bases?
Yeah, he slapped the ball out, no?
No, that was at first base.
Okay.
He slapped the ball out of the first baseman. But another play, see, that's the whole thing. People hate him for this stuff. I was like, oh, that's baseball. But he was, it was a puff, it was a small puff fly to the third baseman, and the third baseman was about to catch it. And Alex Rodriguez was rounding second and running behind him. And he says, I got it. So the third baseman lets the
Oh,
ball
yeah.
drop, and Alex goes and scores.
I
I
remember
mean,
that.
I think that's cool. But people call him a cheater for that. I was like, dude, that's baseball. That's smart.
He is
Yeah, it
good.
is Bush League, but hey, you're playing to win.
I did not show this before we end this, but this is one of my favorite cards of Greg Nettles because of the bad airbrushing technique they used on this card. They never used the NY in the away jersey. And then look how it has like Dodger blue stirrups and the helmet
Yeah.
like a Dodger blue. This is like one of the funkiest cards you'll ever see by Topps with the airbrushing. So, dude, this was fun. I was happy to see all your Dodgers cards, and I've never seen it in a video. And you said you never shared it, so I'm happy this was an opportunity for you to share it.
Yeah, all together.
Um, guys, I don't know. I wish I could do something like this with other collectors that are big time collectors of their teams, and we could do this in the future where maybe we'll showcase some franchise players of teams and revisit the history of their players, whether it's on Caesar's live stream or my live stream. I would love to do this with other people, especially for the Cardinals, which is like the second winningest franchise in the history of baseball. Pirates have a rich history. Tigers have a rich history. There's so many teams with rich history. It would be so cool to do this in the future with other collectors. But any last words, Caesar, before we sign off?
No, and real quick too, Branch Rickey didn't he sell his share of the Dodgers and then go work for the Pirates and sign Roberto Clemente from the Dodgers? I
Yeah,
thought he was responsible for that, right?
yeah. They try to stash Clemente in the Dodgers farm system, hoping he'd get slide through. That was
Yeah.
silly to me. Like, just sign him if you know he's that good. Like, what's the big deal? But oh well, dude, this was fun. So
Yeah.
thank you for joining us, everyone. Um, Come up and egg says I just got here. Start over. I wish we could.
Hey, and come off an egg. I mentioned you in that Steve Sachs card you sent me that I couldn't show it because of what you wrote on it.
But with that being said, we're gonna sign off. Thank you for joining us. Keep collecting. Do it the Four Collectors way. Come on, let's show some franchise teams, some cards, and let's have fun with it in the future. Thank you, Cesar, for doing this with me.
Thank you,
And
man. I love talking cards, man.
yeah,
That was cool.
we're gonna sign out. Keep collecting, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Four collectors.